The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, this is definitely kind of like the forgotten child of the MCU. At first, like no one really talks about it until, later on, where a lot of characters from this movie get reintroduced later. Like Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross gets reintroduced in Civil War, and then a lot of characters apparently are going to be returning. Like Emil Blonsky, was in She-Hulk, which definitely was my favorite, but we won't talk about that one, thank goodness. Betty Ross and Samuel Stearns are going to be returning in Captain America: Brave New World, so we'll see how they turn up in those movies. But yeah, this was kind of like the movie that no one really remembered. Universal had the rights to this one, so it couldn't be streamed on Disney Plus until like recently, until like last year. So people kind of skipped over this movie. No one really talked about it. Obviously Edward Norton was the main character, played Bruce Banner, and then he got replaced by Mark Ruffalo, who stayed in the role later on. So this definitely didn't really have that kind of staying power that a lot of people really wanted it to be. But yeah, overall, I think it's like like a fun movie. It's definitely better than the Ang Lee version, which is definitely quieter, introspective version of Hulk, where this is more of like comic accurate version of Hulk, where it's like the Hulk smash and everything like that. We finally get battles between Hulk and Abomination, even though it kind of looks like a big CGI video game fest. But hey, it's better than nothing. So yeah, I think it's overall pretty good. And yeah, there's not really too many elements that really like tied into the overall Infinity Saga. The only most important things is the whole establishment of the whole super soldier program. Yeah, I know we'll get more into it in Captain America, but technically out of the release order of the films, like this is the first time it's mentioned, where in Captain America's time they had the whole super soldier program, and obviously they only had like one test subject who was successful, which is Steve Rogers, but he went down in the ice. So Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross is trying to restart the whole super soldier program again, but kind of disguise it as like humans resistance to radiation. So Bruce Banner volunteers for the project, and then obviously gets exposed by the gamma radiation, and then becomes the Hulk. So that's kind of like the whole intro, and then after that's kind of like a whole like on the run movie. And then obviously Bruce Banner's whole goal is to find like a cure for this thing, but then when he meets with Samuel Stearns, the only answer he has is that he'll be able to control himself after he hulks out. He will transform back into Bruce Banner a little bit more easily, which definitely gets established more in Avengers, where Bruce Banner returns to the screen. Obviously different actor, but oh well. But yeah, and then we have the whole end fight where after Samuel does the experiments on Bruce, he's able to kind of control his rage, control his anger, and then kind of uses that in the third act to defeat Emil Blonsky / Abomination, and then goes on the run again to, control his emotions, and now he's in control of it, and then, we get the payoff in the Avengers. But yeah, honestly, there's not really too many tie-ins to the overall MCU. The only real thing is like, it's not even a post-credit scene. It comes like right before the credits where Tony Stark visits Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross in the bar and tells him that he's putting a team together, and then obviously that implies as being the Avengers. So that's really the only tie-in for that. And then obviously Bruce comes back for the Avengers. But yeah, like overall, the Incredible Hulk, so it's a fine movie, but yeah, there's not really too many larger MCU tie-ins, and it's kind of one you can skip over, and then you can just watch Avengers with the Hulk in it, where he's kind of a little bit more of an improvement. So yeah, kind of like overall thoughts on Incredible Hulk.